It's 4 o'clock in Los Angeles. It's 6 o'clock in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. And it's 7 p.m. in New York City. Hello, everybody. I'm Mad Dog the Scipio. This is America's Podcast. What's the buzz? And I'm joined each and every week, God help us all, by Amelia the Pitbull Chapman. How are you, Amelia?
Doing good. How are you?
Amelia, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Right at the top of the show,
Mhm.
how the hell did you get on that side of the screen?
I have no idea. It happens every time.
Well, let's move you back over
There
there.
you go. That feels better.
There you go. Anyway, we are What's the Buzz, America's Best Podcast. We had an interesting show last night.
Mm-hmm.
We had a good show last night. What do you think?
Yes.
With any response?
Yeah, they were like, "Oh my gosh, how could all of that fit into that little room?" I was like, "Because it wasn't real people." We
Yeah,
learned a
because
lot.
it was smoke and mirrors. It was a big
Yeah.
show.
Yes.
I mean, look, even the people in our chat room, like Kenneth Jarrett
Mhm.
Singleton and Leon and Rosie.
Yes.
Ruffian wasn't here last night. We missed
Mm-mm.
him last night.
Because it was weird.
But they saw the same thing we all saw, and you pointed it out right away.
Yes.
That you said, "Hey, Mad Dog, that don't look real."
No.
Very, very wise, very perceptive, because it's not.
Well, you know that scale
Wasn't.
that they were using, I use that same scale because I've lost all this weight, and of course, I've had the skin here, but you have unfortunately after you lose all this weight. But that same scale I use to weigh my food out because
Thank
my
you.
doctor put me on
They
this
were.
diet.
Tell everybody what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Tell
listen,
everybody what we're because it was. I laughed. It was funny.
they have these gold bars that takes you. They were like this, lifting it like a piece of paper. Come on, really? It takes like 2 or 3 people to lift an actual gold bar. Okay, I couldn't
They're,
even lift
they're
it.
they're not light. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, because my doctor put me on this thing where I can only lift up 5 pounds. Those things weigh like what, 50, 70 pounds a piece or
Oh,
more
40, 50 pounds a piece.
a piece.
A
And they look
piece.
so fake. And some of them look like they were wrapped.
A big, a full size bullion bar
Yes.
will weigh 40, 50 pounds.
And
Now they have smaller ones, Neil, that
yes.
look like they're the same size as this box.
There you go. Yeah, you were showing us
This is
that.
the box that I used last night to show you this, because it's exactly the size. It's the same size and the same width.
Right.
There's one difference. A gold bar this size should be
Yeah.
going like this. They were going
Absolutely.
like this with it, like it was nothing, like it
Yeah,
had no weight. So
exactly.
here's what Amelia's trying to tell you guys, because it's fucking hilarious, is that they were using food scales. They were using a meat scale
Exactly.
to weigh gold.
Yeah.
Okay, like the kind you use in your kitchen to weigh out your meat.
And what you couldn't see in the background while he was showing that film, I was laughing so hard, but I had tried to control myself.
We got some. This is we. I got to stop the presses here. We got. This is interesting. Hi, buddy. I'm a Freemason. Okay. First of all, you spelled Mason wrong, so you're not a Freemason. We love you though. Goodbye. Why don't we say goodbye to this fella? Goodbye. You're banned. He come on here and say, I'm a Freemason, but can't spell Freemason. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, let's see.
Goodbye. What part of stupid do you think we are?
Mhm.
Just because we're wrestling marks.
And
Anyway,
to begin with, they had, like you said, every single pretty much news media there, so that way everybody could see in the whole entire world this little
everybody from the
bitty room.
press.
Mhm.
Somebody asked me, apparently they didn't see the beginning of the show. Someone asked me, they said, why were there more press people than Congress people? I said, the answer was very simple. What do the press do? They forward information. You got 100 reporters that represent the whole country.
Absolutely.
Okay, from every state. You
Mhm.
know, and a couple of them, 2 or 3 of them from California, a
Yes.
couple from New York. Point I'm trying to make is that's what the press does. They put out info.
Yes.
They put out the info that you want them to put out. And guess what, folks? Nothing's changed because they're still doing the same fucking thing today.
Fake news.
Same thing today.
Yes.
As long as they're going to get paid, they're going to put. Here's how it works. You pay me, I'll say it. Oh, and how did it? How does it go? How did they used to say it? Oh, damn, Angelo, come on. You paid it, I said it, something like that.
Yeah. You pay, I'll say, something like that, right?
They used to say something like, "You paid it, I laid it," or whatever the fuck it was. It was something stupid like that. Anyway, but anyway, Amelia, what do we got? What's our show tonight?
Are we inherently racist?
Well, give me some answers. Are we?
We weren't actually. Well, I could say that we're probably not born that way, but we're made into being racist. Probably depends on your family.
Well, you just opened up a can of worms on that one already. We're not 5 minutes into the show. We're exactly 5 minutes into the show, and she's already opening up the shit can. Here we go.
There's different types of racism, though. After reading what racism is,
why don't we? You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we take a look at some various types of racism? We're just going to let this roll, and we'll talk after. Here you go.
Prejudice is a learned thing. It is not something we're inherently born with. I've seen that video a lot of 2 white kids, 2 black kids, all like walking down the street.
Okay, I'm going to stop him right there. Okay, he says by the way, folks, he's not a doctor. He's not a psychologist. He is offering an opinion, this guy. That's all he is, okay? What he's telling you is, in his opinion, we're not born inherently racist, okay? I think he's wrong, but we'll talk about it.
Hands jumping around. They don't know that there's even a thing called prejudice or racism or anything like that. It doesn't matter to them. A kid likes a dog, likes a cat, likes other humans. If the other human is nice to them, they'll be nice to them back. I think you wonder what changes. What happens by the time somebody's 4 to maybe the time they're 18, when you have kids in college screaming whatever they scream and get put on the news and make viral videos because they act like an idiot. What changes is they listen to their parents. They listen to people that they're surrounded by.
People have reportedly been ousted from their role as the master race after allegations of past racism have come to light. Following accusations of historically bigoted and xenophobic behavior, Caucasians have now been forced to step down from being the one true supreme race after being considered no longer fit for their long-held position. These widespread allegations from a variety of sources claim that whites have spent hundreds of years engaging in colonization, racial segregation, slavery, and even genocide, which is a big no-no. While it is possible that white people may be allowed the role of dominant race in the future, it looks like for now they're going to have to join the ranks of the inferior sub-races until hopefully they learn to wield their white power in a more positive way.
Can black people be racist?
I'm racist, yeah.
Against who?
White people. I don't like y'all. All the shit we've been through, we can't be racist.
Why can't black people be racist?
Just cause all the shit we've been through.
Why do you think some black people think that they can't be racist? Because they're racist. Because they're racist?
Because they're ignorant. Black people can be racist just like white people.
What's the solution to racism? We talk about it more or less.
I love, bro, Bob Marley. Talk about less, man, and just love each other, bro.
American Idol bombshell. One of the show's top contestants, 16-year-old Caleb Kennedy, is dropping out of the competition after video of him surfaced on social media. The short clip shows the teen sitting next to someone wearing what appears to be a white Ku Klux Klan hood.
Caleb, congratulations.
Last week, Caleb advanced to the final 5 of the singing competition and was a favorite to win the whole thing, until now. Last night, he apologized. I want to say sorry to all my fans and everyone who I have let down. He says the video was not meant to be taken in that way. Caleb's mom says the video was taken when he was 12 years old after he watched the movie The Strangers Pray at Night. It had nothing to do with the Ku Klux Klan, but I know that's how it looks. Caleb doesn't have a racist bone in his body. He loves everyone and has friends of all races, she says. Now the show is down to its 5 finalists. Make that 4.
Wow.
Well, I saw your face, Amelia. Go ahead.
That was
Unload.
just,
Go ahead.
oh my goodness. Yeah, it did look like a
I'll tell you what
KKK
I want you to do.
outfit.
I'll tell you, hold on a minute. Hold on.
Okay.
I'll tell you what I want you to do. Take about, I'm serious, take about 2 to 3 minutes
Right.
and explain to everybody, because you're probably calmer than I am right now. Well, for the moment,
Inside,
anyway.
I'm not.
I know, but you can work yourself up in a minute, but do me a big favor, because I need you to do this.
Okay.
Take about 2 or 3 minutes and explain to everybody while I catch my breath what the hell we just watched. Go ahead.
So many people being racist toward everybody. Oh my gosh. Everybody's racist with this person, that person. Black people being racist with white people being racist with black people. And that I just couldn't believe that American Idol person was, I mean, that you might be watching The Strangers, but that is not a stranger's mask. I'm so sorry. It's a KKK mask. He was one of my favorites, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm sorry to start cursing already. What, 11 minutes into the show? Oh my God. Are you kidding me? But they just proved my point that you can be racist against your own race. I might be white looking to you people, but let me tell you something. I am Mexican, and I can show you proof with what I experienced that racism exists within your own race. It can. Oh my God.
Remarkable, huh?
It is remarkable what we just watched, that you can be racist within your own race and against other races.
Yeah.
And that just proved to me that black people are trying to overpower all the races.
I want to take a minute because El Ruffian, I just
Oh,
mentioned El Ruffian. I missed him last
hi,
night.
El Ruffian. We've missed you.
Ruffian's here. He says, and this is how I would describe myself, because I say that I'm a racist. I'm really not. If you get down to it, am I a bigot? Absolutely. There's no question about I'm a fucking bigot, and I'm not proud of it, folks, but I'm not going to run away from it either. He says I can't be racist. We are all humans. I can be bigot toward idiots. I say that's fair. You know what? And I agree with him. That's fair, because there are just like people that are just beyond stupid. Okay,
Right.
like beyond stupid. And so what do you do with them? Like, how do you deal with that level of ridiculous?
Exactly. But we walked into a grocery store and there was people from like Iraq and Iran looking at me and my son weird, and we're not the ones. We're from America. They weren't.
I want you
And
to listen. I want you to listen to this. This is from a guy in our chat.
okay,
We were just talking about this before we went on the air.
right.
Hi is with us. Hi, thank you for being here. Hi, I want you to know that Pitbull and I were talking about this, exactly what you're talking about, before we went on the air tonight. He says racism exists in any way. I am from Kenya, and my own people are racist toward me. Would
Yes.
you do me a favor, Amelia, if you don't mind?
Of course.
Would you tell the story you told me before we went on the air
Of course, absolutely. I was
about how
working.
people were racist against your own people? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was working for a call center, and I'm going to say the name Premier because that's part of it. And there's a
Right.
Mexican manager, and I speak Mexican. She wanted me to take Mexican calls, and I'm like, no, I don't want to. I'm not comfortable with it. And she says, well, why not? I said, because I don't want to. And so she started showing favoritism toward me very badly. She moved me from a very comfortable seat, put me right in the front row where she pretty much could see me anytime that she would do this, through her doorway to see what I was doing. She was pretty much micromanaging me, singling me out,
Yeah.
making sure that she would listen to all my calls. Anytime I had a bad call, she'd call me in there, and she excluded me from everything. She bullied me, humiliated me, degraded me, no matter what. And she looked at me up and down and made
Yeah.
sure she'd come around my desk to see what I was doing.
You know what
Always.
it sounds like to me? And those of you that are old enough might remember what I'm talking about. When I was a kid in school, if you did something bad, the teacher did one of two things. Rarely both, but one of two.
Mhm.
Either they put you in timeout, right?
Right.
Or the teacher would move your desk next to his or hers in the front of the class.
Right.
That's what it sounds like to me this woman did. She
Right.
moved your desk where she could keep an eye on you.
But anybody else that spoke Spanish, she would let them do whatever they wanted.
Hi says, I feel your pain, Amelia. You did not deserve that. No,
No.
she didn't.
No.
Let me tell you something. She worked at this company for 5 years.
There was no problem with
Okay.
anybody else.
5 years with the same company with not one incident. Please tell me
No,
if I'm
no
like
incident. It was
getting the gist of this right.
right.
Because one of the things that we talk about a lot on this show are the things that get us angry, the things that make us happy. Sometimes they're the same thing.
Right.
Sometimes the things that make us happy are the things that piss us off.
Exactly.
But Hai brings up a really good point.
And thank you, Hai.
His people, the Kenyan people. We were talking about a professional wrestler, a ruffian. You probably know who this is. A guy named Tony Atlas, Mr. USA. He's a big black man. He's a bodybuilder. He was a professional bodybuilder that got into pro wrestling and was very, very successful. Very successful. Someone interviewed him and they said, Tony, have you ever experienced racism in wrestling? And he says, yes, but not from the white wrestlers, from the black wrestlers. I said, why? Because the black wrestlers wanted what I had, which was I had the main event, I had the money, I had the championship belt. And the guy says, well, how did you do that? He said, I did it the old-fashioned way. I worked my ass off and worked my way up the card. He goes, them boys, I'm going to say exactly how he said it.
Yes.
Them boys in the locker room that be hating me so much, they wanted the easy ride because they were black.
Oh my goodness.
Wait a minute. And the country was like that for a long time. It was called affirmative action. Thank God Donald Trump, when he was president the first time, eliminated affirmative action. You can no longer be hired because you're black or Hispanic or whatever. Okay?
Right.
And you can't be fired because you're black or Hispanic. Or you, in other words, everything's fair now. If you do the job and do it well,
yes,
work your way up, there you go. That's how it works.
And thank you, Hai. I feel your pain too. Thank you so much for sharing your story as well.
Absolutely. Oh, you know Tony Atlas. Okay. Very good. Very, very good. Leon. Hey, Leon's here.
Hey,
Leon, let me ask you a question, Leon. Have you ever experienced racism? It's because I know a little bit about Leon and his background. I want to ask him to be honest, because Leon's always honest with us folks.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting thing when you ask somebody about their background.
Well, I mean, since we're bringing that up, how about you?
What's that?
How about you? Have you experienced it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you when and where and how.
Okay.
I was living in Philadelphia. I went to a Catholic Philadelphia high school called St. Thomas Aquinas. I was a little kid at the time. My father was having a house built here in New Jersey. And when I was a little kid, there were a predominantly large amount of black people, young black kids in my class, because the area where the school was predominantly black and Hispanic in Philadelphia at that time in the 60s. Okay. Now, for the interest of full disclosure, I'm 65.
Right.
I was born in 1959, but I went to school from 1966 to 1976 when I graduated high school. But here's the thing, though. The only time I ever experienced that level of racism was when I was a kid. But you have to remember something historically.
Right.
And I'm not making excuses for it, but you have to understand. Philadelphia is a major city, like every major city in the country at the time. We were going through racial upheaval. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Medgar Evers they all had been killed. Bobby Kennedy had been killed. President Kennedy had been killed earlier in the 60s. You had all of these people with just like racial unrest was crazy. When I was a kid, just to show you how stupid I was at the time as a little kid, because when you're a kid, you don't pay no attention to anything, right?
Right.
I'm walking, it's 19, I will tell you, I remember exactly. It was 1967, the summer of 67. It was an election year in 1968. Hubert Humphrey and Richard Nixon, the Democrat and Republican, were running for president, okay? Hubert Humphrey was vice president of the United States at the time. At the time, Richard Nixon was the former vice president. He was now running to become president. Okay. I'm walking down the street, okay, and there's gunshots going off.
Oh my gosh.
And they're coming from the high school.
Oh boy.
They're coming from, listen to what I'm saying. The gunshots are coming from the high school. There was a guy up there with a rifle shooting at people.
Oh.
And I don't know. I'm just walking and there's people around me falling down and I'm just walking. Okay, I'm not making a bit of, I swear to you,
gosh.
I'm not making a bit of this story up. Not one word is made up. And I'll tell you where it was. It was on Clarion and Rittner Street on 11th and Clarion and Rittner. If you know Philadelphia, go look it up. Because it's right across from Southern High School, South Philadelphia High School. I can't make this up, and I wouldn't if I tried to. I couldn't make it up because it really happened. There was a real thing that really happened, and I talked about this before. That day, I met Richard Nixon and Hubert Humphrey because they were both on opposite ends of the street.
Oh my goodness.
Hubert Humphrey was on that side of the street. Richard Nixon was on that side of the street. And they were both giving political speeches. They were running for president. You can't, I swear to you folks, do your, please research this. Say, Mad Dog has got to be mad. No, I'm absolutely not mad, I promise.
He would not make any of this up, I promise people.
I'm not making a word of it up. Racism. Big time in the 1960s, okay? Yeah, I experienced it. Not only because I was white, but because I was Italian. Because if you're Italian, you must be in the mafia. If you're Italian, you know, you must know somebody that's, connected, one of these guys.
Oh, that's what they expect, huh?
That's what they expect. What do we got? Our chat room's blowing up. Holy shit.
Well, I think he answered your question, Leon. And then I think El Rafian also said something.
Oh, thank you, Leon. Here we go. I'm Cherokee with yes, I know. That's why I brought Leon, because a lot of people don't know this. My friend Leon here is part Cherokee, Native American, and he's part Caucasian. And we don't talk about that a lot because I like Leon because he makes me laugh and he's fucking funny.
And he's a good detective for us too.
And he's a smart guy. I was a white looking cracker. The only that saved was my beautiful green eyes. Yeah, exactly. Well, let me tell you something. When you're 5'3" and you've got shit brown eyes and jet black hair at the time, that's not. If you look at it now, it's not black anymore.
He says I did that color too.
Yeah, my wife and Amelia are responsible for this salt and pepper look that you see in my head. And a few ex-wives too, by the way, folks. And so yeah, I mean, I experienced racism, and I understand. And part of my racial makeup today still has to do with that day in Philadelphia when I saw black people getting shot at and by white people with rifles sticking out a high school window. I'm telling you, I'm not making any of this up. You have to understand something. I grew up at a time when Bobby Kennedy was speaking about peace. Martin Luther King was talking about coming together. And Malcolm X was talking about black power. And the Ku Klux Klan, by the way, was in full swing.
Right.
Okay. All over the country, not just down south, folks. They were up in New York, New Jersey. They were like everywhere during the 60s. In California. And they're still in California. But understand this because it's important. The 1960s that I identify with the most was a time when this country's racial makeup was solidified. The fact that the United States of America elected its first black president, Barack Obama, by the way, he wasn't elected, he was chosen. But that's a whole nother show we'll do. But this country had a black president, okay? Is it a good thing for the country? Yeah, absolutely it is. Kamala Harris, a woman of color. We don't know what color because she keeps lying about it. But
she tries to be Mexican.
Indian. She's Indian and Jamaican is what she actually is.
Yeah.
She's not black.
Nope.
But a woman of color ran for president. Well, good for her. God bless her. Okay. But but don't misunderstand me. And I'm not saying anything negative about Barack or Kamala because that's water under the bridge. And that was then and this is now, and we're going into a new day, and pray God that all things will work out. So what happened though in the 1960s, let me get back onto that because it's really critical. The racial unrest in the 1960s in America, particularly America, it set the tone for generations to come. We heard the N-word bantered about fluently in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and the 2000s. And now it's not going away. The fact that El Ruffian used the word cracker is kind of funny, but I know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Cracker referred to white guys or white bread.
Or Mexican wetbacks. That's what they call.
Wetbacks, yeah. But you know why they were called wetbacks?
Yes, sweat. A lot of hard workers. No,
that's not why they were called wetbacks. They were called wetbacks because they had to get across the Rio Grande River to come to America.
Wow.
That's the reason. But I'll
My
tell you
dad
what,
liked
though,
me.
Mexican people will work their fucking balls off, and they'll do work that white people won't do.
Exactly. We
You
will.
know,
They will. Yeah. We have some here picking strawberries in one season and
picking
picking
strawberries
onions.
and blueberries up here in New Jersey,
Mhm.
doing all kinds of landscaper. I think 7 out of 10 landscapers here is Mexican,
Oh yeah, we have them here all the time.
and they do a great job.
Hmm.
And they'll do the work, and they won't bitch about it
Nope.
for $50 a pop,
Yeah.
and they'll do 10, 15 a day.
Yes.
Figure that one out mathematically, okay?
Okay.
Who's stupid now, folks?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm surprised Leon ain't in trouble with Rosie though.
Rosie is fully Italian, and she says it's racist of me to call her a full-blooded Italian.
FBI.
No, no, it's ignorant of you to call her FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, but not a full-blooded Italian. Because I'm an FBI. I'm a full-blooded Italian.
Yeah.
I take no umbrage to that. Ruffian says, remember the case about the store clerk with the... Yes, I remember this. You're too young, Million. Remember
Oh.
the case about the store clerk with the green teeth, killed his girlfriend outside the store in her car and shot another dude in the car behind. They had it on AMW. Yeah,
Ooh.
it happened on my block. Oh, shit, brother.
Jeez.
For real? That
That sounds
happened
like an
on
interesting
Ruffian's
case.
block? For real?
Ooh.
Dude.
If we do that, he should come
We're
on
gonna have
on
to
the
do
show
a
with us.
show on that. That's a show idea one day.
He should be a
Damn, brother.
guest on our show with
Well, I'm
that one.
glad you got out of that one, all right. So the question, are we born racist? I want to throw this to my chat room. Amelia, I want to throw this to the chat room.
Yeah.
Are we born racist? And we already saw what, Mr. Know-It-All had to say about it.
All right.
Which, I mean, if you missed it, I'll play it again for you, but
Right.
but we'll get to that. So what do you think? Are we born racist? Here's the question we asked. Amelia asked the question at the beginning of the show. Are we inherently racist? Well, that means, are we inherently racist means, are we born racist?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can answer that. I can tell you that I didn't know the difference between black, white, blue, purple, and green other than the colors in the crayon box.
Yeah. It's a
Because when I was a kid, we didn't have words like the N word.
No,
we didn't have words like black either.
No.
When I was a kid, the word Negro
Yeah.
was the word at the time. It was politically correct, Negro. And then you had some people back in the day that used to use the word, this is a holdover from the 50s, the word colored. You know? And I love the line in that movie called what was it called? Where the guy says he says to the woman, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. Colored people have to sit in the back of the bus. And she says, I ain't nobody. She goes, nobody colored me. I was born this way. Okay.
Wow.
Which it's
Powerful.
Powerful statement.
Very.
Nobody colored me. I was born this way. Okay. It's a powerful statement. But guess what? They still forced her to sit in the back of the fucking bus. Back in the 1960s, there were restrooms, whites only, coloreds only. I'm not making this up, folks.
No.
Do you know about this, Amelia?
No, that's the first time I've heard of it. Thank you for telling me about that.
But go on to YouTube. I'm not even kidding.
Mhm.
There were restrooms for black people, restrooms for white people. Let me tell you how bad it got. Let me tell you how bad racism was in America. And we're going to talk about, we always say America. I'm going to tell you why. Because racism doesn't exist in other countries. You know why?
Why?
Because they're all the same color. Human.
Yeah, exactly.
America is the only country on planet Earth that distinguishes between black and white. If you see a black Egyptian and a white Egyptian in Egypt,
right.
guess what? They're not black or white. They're
They're just
Egyptian.
saying.
They're Egyptian.
So
Okay.
if like a colored restroom and just a regular white restroom, so
To the
they
way,
only
to the
clean
point where, let me tell you how bad it got.
Mhm.
To the point where they had colored water fountains and white water fountains. To the point where they had colored section of the restaurant to sit in and
Right.
white section. And let me relate this to wrestling. In the South,
Right.
the segregated South, black people had to sit in the balcony while the white people sat at ringside. That all changed. That all changed when a guy named Sputnik Monroe said, if they don't sit down front, I'm not going out. Okay.
So if they did that to Mexican people, just if my dad was so dark complected to me, he'd have to sit up in the balcony and I could sit below because of my skin color. They would think I'm white.
Exactly.
That wouldn't be fair.
Who said it was fair, Mill?
I know, but I mean, think
Who said
about
it
it.
was fair? I'll tell you one better. The Beatles.
Mhm.
John, Paul, George, and Ringo, the Beatles. When they came to America, they played everywhere.
Right.
When they played in the South, in Tennessee,
Mhm.
the promoters said, you're going to play to a white-only audience because we're not allowing the quote niggers, unquote niggers, to be here. And the Beatles said, if you don't let everybody in, we're not playing.
Wow.
And it was a
Good for
sold-out stadium. 25,000 people in a stadium waiting to hear the Beatles. Well, let me tell you something. They waited for 3 hours until they let black people into that stadium.
Well, good for them. I'm glad they did that.
Yep.
To let
And
everybody.
it was also partly responsible for what got the Beatles banned in the South. They wouldn't play their records. At that point, the Beatles didn't give a shit. They were already multi-fucking bazillionaires.
Yeah.
You know. Who's up in the chat room tonight? Leon says, my boy Leon. I know stories where white people accidentally went into. Oh, you know what? I've heard that story, Leon. Some of them didn't come out really the same way they went in either.
That's what I was going to ask you. How would I know that they would probably just clean the white restrooms, but I guess the black people would be responsible.
No, you got to understand something.
Mhm.
They were right next to each other. They built restaurants, built separate restrooms for black people. That's how much. Do you know what it takes to put on an extra bathroom in a restaurant that's already been built?
Probably.
And to add an extra bathroom for black people? It's a very expensive proposition.
Oh, I can imagine. And I guess the black people would be responsible to clean their own bathroom, right? Because the people in the restaurant clean just the white
So here's
only,
the funny
right?
part. You just opened up a shitstorm, Mill.
Uh-oh.
Whether you know it or not.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to Leon, tell me if I'm lying. Ruffian, tell me if I'm lying. I'm not making this up. Black people had to clean up their own bathrooms, yes. But guess who cleaned the white bathrooms?
The restaurant people.
No.
No?
A black guy.
You're kidding me.
Am I kidding? Even to this day in 2024, you go into a high-end restaurant Guess what?
It's a black
Go
person.
into a casino in Atlantic City or Las Vegas or in Tennessee or in any state that's got casinos, right?
Right.
Go in the restroom. There's a black man there. And he's got towels for you. And he's got paper towels. And he's got hand soap. And he's working for tips. Even to this day. Please tell me, you guys, if I'm making this up.
Or even the hotel maids like that. I've seen them in hotel rooms doing the same thing. And Mexicans too. Mexican ladies or gentlemen are doing that.
Well,
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. That is ridiculous.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to do this real quick. I want to do this real. I want to bring this film up.
Okay.
It's called Being Black. Now I'm going to show this. It's a long film, but I'm going to show you about 5 or 6 minutes of it. So there's this woman named Roberta in Harlan, Kentucky. Okay. Now, why are you laughing?
Oh my, just the name. I'm sorry. That's
her name's wait a minute. It gets better. Her name's Roberta, but she says everybody calls me Birdie. Okay, now watch. Amelia, shut up. I'm not making this up. Watch. Take a look at this.
That lives out here. You probably wouldn't take them to be black people. You might not look black, but you got the black blood in.
Now, look at this woman. Will somebody please tell me what part of this woman looks black to anyone? Can I tell you what she looks like to me? She looks like an albino.
Yeah.
She doesn't look black. She doesn't look white. She looks like an albino.
Exactly.
I'm looking at her eyes, her hair, her skin. She says she's black. Let's watch.
To you. Well, my name is Roberta Jeanette Euler, but I go by Bert for a nickname. I've lived here all my life. On my job that I had worked at, they took me to be white. And my best friend, she took me to be white. She was shocked when I told her I'm not white. I am black. I am a black person. And it was, well, you're not that. You think you are. No, I know I am. I was raised that way. But I was also raised, as Mom would say, it doesn't matter what color your skin is. We all serve.
Wow.
Here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't matter, then why are you making such a big deal over it?
Exactly, right?
If it doesn't matter, Roberta, why are you making such a big stink over it? That's what I don't get. Like she's saying, well, my mother said it doesn't matter if you're black or white. Well, then why? Then listen to your mother.
Right?
Then why are you making such a big fuss over being black? Here's what she said that really bothered me. She says, I'm black because I have, quote, the black blood in me, unquote. We're going to talk in a minute. After this is over, we're going to talk about what the hell is black blood. Watch this, folks.
Now, as you know, this is my home. Over here is my daughter's home, Jessica. Everybody else in here, we're all kinfolks. That's how this community got to be mixed with white and black. It was from the black children. Our children going out marrying white and bringing them in. A lot of them was as light as I am, but we still said we were black. And then we had some real dark ones, but that's okay. They were black, we were black. So that's how this all got started. My grandma, she was half Turk, half black. My grandpa was a white man. My mom registered me as black. My mom she wasn't as fair complected as I am. She was a light tan brown. My dad, he has German, Irish, white. Well, his mother was a white woman. His dad was a colored man. And then as I grew older and I got married and I had my children, I registered my children as black.
Okay. Hold on there, folks. We got to talk about this. We got to talk about this. Okay. Now, if I know you as well as I think I do, what part of this got me going?
The black part that she's like 100% black, but she's not 100%.
But thank you. Here's what she did, and you're right. You're right on target. Thank you, Amelia. What she did was she went from using the word black to colored in the same sentence.
Yeah.
Well, who's being racist now? You're calling yourself black, but then you're saying colored.
Yeah.
Well, are you colored or are you black?
Exactly.
And if you're colored, what color are you?
And her grandmother didn't look black at all, but she might have been. Maybe it was a picture. I don't know. That
Because I
picture
got
looks
news
so
for you.
old.
Compared to Amelia, I'm colored.
Yeah.
I'm discolored.
Especially look at that.
Look.
Yeah, look at that.
Okay.
Look at this. Even in the summertime, you're darker than I am.
You see what I look like in the summertime.
Yeah.
I look like Juan Valdez just came out of the coffee bean field.
Mm-hmm. And you've seen my sister, how dark she is compared to me, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
How'd
My
you come
sister-
out white? Are you sure the milkman didn't sneak in with the Mrs. Valerio one night?
my
You
everybody
better
says
ask Papa Joe.
my dad says that and my family says, oh no, she's from somebody from Mexico.
Right. This is good. Let's watch Roberta because she's digging herself deeper and deeper. Here you go, folks.
People that lives out here, you probably wouldn't take them to be black people. I'm a black person. And it was, well, you're not that. You think you are. No, I know I am. I was raised that way. But I was also raised, as Mom would say, it doesn't matter what color your skin is. We all serve one God. Now, as you know, this is my home. Over here is my daughter's home, Jessica. Everybody else in here, we're all kinfolks. That's how this community got to be mixed with white and black. It was from the black children. Our children going out marrying white and bringing them in. A lot of them was as light as I am, but we still said we were black. And then we had some real dark ones, but that's okay. They were black, we were black.
You hear what she's saying.
Yeah.
You hear what she's saying. Okay. And I'll give her a little bit of slack. Okay. Understand where she's going with this. Because I watched this. I didn't know whether to get angry at it. Because when I was watching this earlier today for the show tonight,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know whether to get angry about it or feel sorry for her. But I think I'm more leaning towards feeling sorry for her than being angry, because I don't think, get mad at me, folks, I don't care. I don't think she understands what it means to be black. I don't think she understands what it means to be white either. I think she is a woman like this. And by the way, she's not talking about just a couple people in her town. The entire town is like this.
The whole street probably, and she's been misfed information.
No, it's not the whole street. It's the whole town.
Oh, wow.
All 16,000 people in this town. They all have biracial roots. Every last family. Every last family in this town has biracial roots. Why? Simple. And I did the research, I did the history. This was an area where lots of slaves are from. Slaves
Okay.
back in the time were all black. Slave owners had sex with their slaves and produced pretty babies, biracial babies. Now, I'll say that.
Right.
Black woman and a white guy, or a black man and a white woman, they make pretty babies.
Right.
They really do. And I'll never say anything negative against that. And I'll never tell anybody they can't be with anybody. You be with whoever has your heart, you go with.
Right.
See, I'm trying to turn over a new leaf here. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this show. Because I want to, through doing the show, I want to understand why I think the way I do. And I'm answering some of my own questions, which is good. It's helpful.
Right. Well, my children were, I brought them up to love everybody no matter what color you are, because when you cut yourself, the saying is we all bleed the same color. And my children are Mexican and white. And when they get asked, what race are you?
Amelia.
Yes.
Your children are whiter than you are.
No, they
The
when you
color of
ask
their
them,
skin is whiter than you are. Now, your husband is a little darker.
yeah, but
And here's the funny thing. Your husband's darker, but he's the white guy.
yes.
Go figure that
And
one out.
and
How did that?
when you ask my children, what
And you
race
want to
are
know
you?
why Amelia is screwed up? There you go, folks.
Then when you ask my children, what race are you? They will tell you, I am white and Mexican. They will tell you right off the bat. They don't tell you one race. They tell you both.
Well, yeah, they're
And they tell you
biracial.
very proudly.
They're Caucasian and Hispanic.
Yeah, and they tell you very proudly. They don't tell you
Do
one
they
race.
say Hispanic? They say Mexican.
They say Mexican.
They say Mexican.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. Being a Mexican woman, what's the difference between Mexican and Hispanic?
Hispanic could be all kinds of different races.
All right.
pretty
Well,
much
so
in one.
it could fall in that category, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Because I want to make sure I understand when I speak to a Spanish person or a Puerto Rican person or someone who speaks that language, that I'm not offending them by calling them Hispanic.
No, because
And what's the difference between Hispanic and Latino?
it's the same thing pretty much.
Then why
because-
can I ask you a question then?
Mhm.
Why have all these different names if they all mean the same thing?
Because that way you're not offending anybody because you don't know if they're
Here's the
Hispanic,
thing.
you're Latino,
If we just call people, no one gets offended.
Exactly. Because some people get offended if they're Cuban or like that. And I say, don't get offended because we're all Hispanic or we're all, Latino. So what's the difference?
It is what it is. Look,
It is what it is. We're all people.
It is what it is. Exactly.
hmm
Oh man, who else is in the chat room with me? Where was the last one?
Oh, I think
Leon.
Leon. I think he was been to. We were talking about like
Yeah,
Atlantic
here you
City.
go. Leon said he confirmed. Yes, black people clean the white restroom.
Mhm.
Yep, I'm not even. It's
No.
funny. They built restrooms for black people, but the black guy in the white restroom is handing the towels
Wow.
and making money. By the way, a nickel, a penny.
Mhm.
You got to remember something. Back in the 50s and 60s, 25 cents was like pretty good money.
Oh, I can imagine that. Yes.
If you made $3 or $4 a day, that was pretty fucking good money back in the day.
Mhm. Yeah. It's,
$30 a week was a great paycheck back in the early to middle 50s.
Yeah, I was I was looking at the prices of how much it would cost for a house and a car, things like that. I was like, man, that was a good time. Oh, Ruffian.
Ruffian. Oh, here's Ruff. Here we go. True that. My wife has a Star Spanish. See, that's the thing about. It's funny, but here's the thing, though.
hmm
If we're using different names for the same thing, why don't we just pick one name and use it?
Exactly. Because I want to know if you're Cuban or if you're, from Dominican
that's
Republic.
another
That
one.
way, we're not using the wrong, Spanish. Because that way, if I can't understand certain Spanish you're speaking, you can tell me, oh, I speak this one. Say, okay, well then let's just speak English. Then if you speak English, so that we're not, because each Spanish word is going to be different.
I spoke to a guy once, and I said, I used the word Latino with him. He was from Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
I used the word Latino. He goes, "Oh man, I'm not Latino. I'm Cubano." I went, "Cubano, okay. Well, explain then." Okay, Cubano means, I'm assuming that means that because you're from Cuba.
Cuba.
He goes, "Yeah, see, yeah." I said, "Okay. Now what the hell's the difference?
Or he probably
speak
thought you
the
were
same
talking
language.
about.
What's the difference?"
He probably thought Latin America too. So because it could be all kinds of different stuff.
Do they
But
speak the same language? Yeah.
yeah, it's
Are
all
there
pretty much the same.
variations? Yeah.
Yes.
But guess what? There are variations among white people too. If you take a New Yorker, watch this, folks, because it happened right here. Okay. If you take a guy from the Northeast, Philadelphia, New York area, right here, you stick that guy in the middle of Tennessee, all right, Nashville. Trust me, folks, they speak a whole different kind of language than I do. Okay? Because when I sat down, Leon and El Ruffian are going to love this one. Leon, Ruff, I want you to listen to this one, because this is true. I went to a restaurant. Not even good. I'm not even making this up. I'm not making this up. I went to a restaurant and I ordered a plate of spaghetti and meatballs. And I said to them, "Can I have extra gravy on it?" I'm not making this up. Watch. They brought out a plate of spaghetti with 2 meatballs with white gravy.
Oh no!
You know why? Because in Tennessee, gravy
is
white, as in biscuits and gravy. Okay. In Philadelphia, gravy
is the red sauce.
Is red sauce. In New York, gravy is red sauce. In fact, there's a book out that you should get. And I'm not making this up. The book is called It's Gravy Not Sauce. That's the name of the book. It's Gravy Not Sauce. Amelia, write that down. It's Gravy Not Sauce.
Okay.
Look it up. Find out who the author is after the show. I want to bring him on the show.
Okay.
It's
And,
a hell of a book.
you know, like if you were going to tell people, I'm going to the store, and then if they told you, I'm fixing to go, you're like, huh?
I'm fixing. Yeah, that was another one.
You're like, what?
I'm fixing to go groceries. I'm fixing to go grocery shopping.
You're like, what are you fixing?
Said, what are you fixing? Is something broke? I did. I said that. I said, what are you fixing? You got to go to the store. You're fixing something. Is it broke?
Yeah.
Do you need a ride? I said to them, do you need a ride?
I bet you're looking at them like, what the?
What are you laughing at? That's not what we mean. We're fixing. We're not. If nothing's broke, it means we're getting ready.
Yeah.
Why don't you just say getting ready?
A friend of mine laughed at me.
I'm getting ready to go shopping.
Yeah, a girl from New Jersey that worked with me at one of my jobs here. She looked at me like, "What?" I said, "Yeah."
Wait a minute. Here's another one for you. Here's another one for you. You're gonna love this one. Again, can't make it up. Go down south. Go to a grocery store. That thing that you go shopping with. What do you call it?
A shopping cart.
Thank you. They're not shopping carts down south, folks. You know what they are? Buggies. It's a buggy.
Yeah,
buggy. A buggy. Okay?
Yeah.
A buggy.
Yeah, go get that buggy. So go get those buggies outside and bring them in on, huh?
Exactly. Yes. You lived in Tennessee.
Yes.
In fact, it's fun. Here's the funny thing.
Yes.
Talking about funny things that happen with people. Yeah. Amelia and I lived in Tennessee at the same time,
At the same time.
about 2 miles apart from each other, and never
Yeah.
fucking knew it. Funny.
And
That's
you
funny
had
shit.
at the Green Acres Flea Market, you had a booth
I
there
had
the
a
same
yes, I
time
had
we
a
did.
store at the flea market. Yes, I did.
And I bought a T-shirt from you for
Yep.
my mom that said
Isn't that
Double
funny?
Trouble on it. And you
Isn't that funny?
had somebody say, you know what, go ahead and make them for her. I think you hadn't been closed yet. You hadn't even had some. Yeah, go ahead and make them for that young lady. And I was
Mhm.
like, oh my God. And I remember
That's
you,
what
and I was like,
I did that all, Amelia. I did that
yes,
for you. I did that for everybody who asked. I'm not even kidding.
yeah. I was like, oh
I'm
my
not even
God,
kidding.
we knew
That's
each
funny
other
though that we
back
talk about
then.
something that happened so long ago.
Hmm.
Yeah, Leon, buggy.
Yeah.
Yep, a
It's
buggy.
like we met back then and we didn't know that we were going to do a show together years later.
Here you go, Leon. Listen to this one. Gallon of gas was 21 cents a gallon.
Wow.
Leon, I want to tell you something, brother. I remember, I'm going to give my age away, right? I remember paying, listen to this one for real. I remember paying 29 cents a gallon
Wow.
for gas when I first started driving. And then what happened was when I started driving,
Hmm.
ask Leon, you think I'm making up, Amelia? Ask him. When I started driving, all of a sudden we had a gasoline shortage, and
Gee.
gasoline went up to $5 a gallon overnight.
But it was just regular. It was unleaded hadn't been thought of yet, right? It was just regular, not
No,
unleaded.
it was just regular. There was no unleaded at the time. It was just starting to come out. It was they used to call it high test.
Oh, okay.
It used to be called high test.
Mm.
Now they call it unleaded supreme.
Right.
Whatever, they got different names for it.
Yeah,
But
like
all
another.
gasoline now,
Hmm.
all gasoline now is unleaded because they found out that leaded gas
Hmm.
was fucking up people's car engines.
That's all.
Bad,
Mm.
real bad. Yeah. See, Leon says when I first, yeah, brother, let me tell you something. The language, we're just talking about the language
Mhm.
differences. You know, I went to Tennessee. You would have thought that the state of Tennessee flipped upside down on its head when I
You're like, wait a
arrived.
minute, am I in a different country?
When I arrived, it was like, oh my God, brother, where you come from? I said, it's funny because I got the cops called on me.
Oh no.
I said, I was you know me, I'm always joking, right?
Right?
Leon, you'll get a kick out of this one. A guy said to me, what brings you, again, not understanding the language,
Hmm.
what brings you to Tennessee?
What?
Me, being the smart ass I am, I said witness protection program. Yeah. He said, what brings you to Tennessee? I said, witness protection program. Do you know he called the fucking cops?
Oh no.
I'm not even kidding you.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not even kidding. I'm in the store.
Oh.
My first day in Tennessee. My first day. Got the police called on me. Wait a minute.
I can hear you say that.
I'm not even, I swear I'm not even making this shit up. Called the cops. I'm drinking my coffee. That's one of them little convenience stores. You go in, grab a cup of coffee, pack of cigarettes. One I used to smoke.
Yeah.
I've been craving a cigarette lately too, but it's another story.
No.
I know. But I'm sitting there, I'm having my cigarette and my coffee, and all of a sudden I hear, I'm like,
oh no.
I was like, oh, somebody's in trouble. And I realized, oh, fuck, they're coming for me.
Oh no.
Yeah. The cops walked in the store. They're looking around. They see me, and I went, and it was I got to give them credit. They were really nice guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there and I'm laughing. And he goes, He goes, something funny, fella? I said, yeah, actually it is. I said, he goes, do you have any ID on you? I said, I sure do, officer. I showed him my ID. He says, oh, New Jersey. Okay. He said, what brings you here? I said, witness written. No, I started laughing. I went, no, I said, I came down here to visit some friends. I was going to come down here and visit for a little while and go back home. But I decided on the way down, that I just, what the hell, just come down here, I'll stay. So I did.
Yeah.
I went down with a suitcase and the clothes on my back, and I stayed. I got myself a little place to stay. I bought a van, and I literally slept in my van for like 2 months, 3 months. While I worked and saved up enough money, and I got a little apartment somewhere. It was good.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a story that's another show together.
That's another show.
Yeah, you don't even know, brother. Oh, I'm telling you. All right. Carter dropped the ball. Yeah. Jimmy Carter, God bless him. Poor Jimmy Carter doesn't know who he is these days. Amelia, what? Yeah. That man, it's already 5:08. We went through that one so fast.
We sure did.
Wow. So, what can we say? Are we inherently racist?
That one's a hard
topic. I would say probably not inherently racist, but strongly conditioned.
Yeah, conditioned because kids aren't that way, or unless your parents put you into that life.
And I think that's a fair statement. I think that you are a product of your environment.
Yes.
And if you're in that environment, and if you're a part of that environment, then unfortunately, yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
It's happened.
Yeah. Well, Amelia, what do we got coming up next week? This is our Friday, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Monday. I want to tell people we're working on a schedule change for the 2025 season. The reason is, by the way, thanks to you guys. Thank you, Amelia, for sticking it out with me for almost 3 years now.
Well, thank you.
It'll be 3 years. It'll 3 years in January, by the way. It will be interesting to see what happens because I want to go on a 4-day schedule, but I only have 2 days in which to do it.
Yes.
Actually, I've got 3 days in which to do it, but I got to put out 4 shows in 3 days. So Amelia and I are going to have to put our heads together and figure out how we're going to pull this one off. Anyway,
and we also have
what's coming up next week?
Well, let's see. You have a day with the boys on the 25th.
Yeah, I want to tell Leon and El Ruffian, if you're still with me, it's Boys Night Monday. Boys Night. We're going to talk about Alcatraz Part 2. We've got some more, another member of the Alcatraz family joining us. Good.
Yes. Alcatraz Revisited. We're going to have Ken Wilder, and we're going to have Mike
Lynch.
Mike Lynch, the dog. Sorry about that. We're coming back with you, and you're going to be talking about
and Ken's brother Dave.
Ken's brother Dave is going to be joining you as well. So
Ken and Dave Widener and Mike Lynch will be here. Now, Ken and Dave, they are the nephews of John and Clarence Anglin, two of the men who escaped Alcatraz, and they actually did. They escaped.
They did. That's an awesome show, and we got so much great
and they
responses.
Finally confirmed, the FBI confirmed that they did.
Wow. Wait till you guys see that show.
Ruffian said he will be there. I want you to be there, Ruff. I want you to ask questions.
Please. This
is a golden opportunity for Ruffian and Leon to ask these guys. I mean, you're talking about the nephews
Yes.
The blood nephews of John and Clarence Anglin escaped from Alcatraz. Books have been written, movies have been made about these guys.
And they
We're
love
going to
questions.
have them on the show.
Yes.
Okay, we're going
And
to
they love
have them
questions,
here.
though, right? Don't they love questions? They love the audience. They love the
They
interaction.
love to interact. They really
Yes,
do. What else
they
we
do.
got, Mel? What else is
And
coming
we
up?
have Susan Singer Carter coming on our show on the 26th. She's going to discuss her documentary of No Country for Old People that she's going to be talking about. And what this means is about old folks' home, retirement homes that she's going to be talking about.
She has done, Amelia, and when you and I talked privately about this, she has done a deep dive into the nursing home crisis, into
Very
the halfway house crisis,
yes.
into like what Jeff, your husband Jeff, went through in a rehab
Yes.
crisis. Her husband goes into a rehab
Mhm.
to get well. He almost dies there from sepsis.
Yes.
He almost died in their care. Do you hear
Yeah.
what we're saying? Susie Singer Carter she went just balls to the walls on this one. She went crazy with this documentary and she covered everything.
Yeah.
She covered everything. And we are going to have clips of the movie before it hits the movie. So you'll see clips of that film. You'll be the first ones to see it.
Oh,
And
good.
on
Can't wait.
Wednesday, I'm sorry, folks, excuse me. On Wednesday, the 20th,
The
I
27th.
think,
The 27th.
the
Day before
27th,
Thanksgiving. Mhm.
the night before Thanksgiving, we ain't doing shit. We're off. But you will see us anyway because we're going to put a rerun. One of our wrestling reruns. I think what you're going to watch might be either Cowboy Scott Casey or the Continental Lover Eddie Mansfield talking about his friend Gino Hernandez.
I'm never going to get along with that man, Eddie Mansfield.
Who, Eddie? I know. He gave you a hard time the last time he was on the
Yeah,
show.
and if I ever see him again, I'm gonna give him a harder time. But we're not doing any more wrestling shows, so I guess not.
Yeah, no more wrestling shows, folks. That's something you will never see from us in 2025. You will not see a wrestling show. So, look at this, Amelia, up close and personal. All right, now we got to say goodnight to these people. So, look, here's the thing. We're here every week, folks. We thank you for your generosity of your time being with us. We say it every show. Be good to each other. Be kind. Till we meet again. God bless you. Be good to you. We will see you, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. I always say that because tomorrow is promised to no one. We just pray for another day. So, Amelia,
Yes.
I'll see your ass next week, kid.
Yes, we'll see you next week.
All right, go. Get out of here.